Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Nobody liked the tax collectors of Jesus' day. Not just because they didn't like to pay taxes, and not just because the money went to Rome. Rome hired local people to run their tax offices, so tax collectors were Jews who'd been traitors to their people. They didn't receive actual wages from Rome. They got rich off of their fellow countrymen by charging extra and keeping the overcharge for themselves. They weren't just disliked, they were hated and resented and shunned from their community. Jesus didn't hate, resent, or shun them. He offered them hope. From the beginning, Jesus held out His hand to them in forgiveness, and many came to Him. Our first glimpse of this is in Matthew 9. Jesus approached a tax collector's table and said to the tax collector, Matthew, "Follow me." With that, Matthew left everything, his wealth, his business, all he'd worked for, and followed Jesus. Then Matthew threw a banquet for all his friends, other tax collectors and shunned people of the community. People the good religious people of the town weren't about to be caught talking to, let alone eating with. Then there was Zaccheus in Luke 19. Jesus was on his way through Jericho to Jerusalem to be crucified, but he was at the height of his popularity with the people. We all know the story of Zaccheus. He was short and knew he wouldn't have a chance to see Jesus if he stayed in the crowd, so he climbed a tree and watched for him. As Jesus arrived, he stopped and looked up at Zaccheus. Knowing who this little man was and knowing that he wanted a change in his life, Jesus looked up and said, "Zaccheus, hurry up, come down from that tree, because I'm going to your house today." In response, Zaccheus promised to repay those that he had cheated and give his wealth to the poor. Tax collectors, the hated traitors, the dregs of Jewish society. Jesus not only included them in His kingdom, but He honored them. He singled Zaccheus out to visit his home, and He called Matthew to follow him and learn from him as he ministered. The Pharisees were, of course, horrified by this. But imagine how the other tax collectors and sinners felt. If Jesus wanted Matthew and Zaccheus, there was hope for them too. Also, notice the reaction of these two men when Jesus singled them out. They responded with joy. Matthew gave up everything and followed, becoming one of Jesus' 12 disciples, a part of His inner circle. He brought his friends to Jesus and eventually wrote the book of Matthew to be sure that others throughout the ages could know Jesus as well. Zaccheus repented and returned all of his riches to the poor and to anyone he had cheated. They repented and committed their lives to Jesus. Yes, these hated outcasts. We have hated outcasts in our society too, whether they're the drug dealers, the lawyers, or just anyone we look down on as being dishonest or unworthy of our attention. But Jesus loves those people too. In fact, He died for them, just like He did for you and me. So if the Lord urges you to speak to one of these on His behalf, remember Matthew and Zaccheus and what a change He made in them and how He can change anyone from the inside out.
You can contact us at treasurehuntinttheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.